So by raise of hands, how many of you here have had an idea? Okay. How many of you have done something about this idea? And now, how many of you have had this idea go perfectly well? Yeah, as we can see, a lot less hands were up. So my name is Savith Vijendra. I'm a junior from Ottawa Hills, and I'm extremely passionate about tennis. So being the passionate individual I am, when I found out that my dad had a childhood friend from India who was internationally ranked, I had to go and play him. So my dad and his childhood friend, before my annual trip to India, organized a way for me to play this internationally ranked kid. So within the first few days, I was given the opportunity to play this kid. And I kid you not, this kid was the best tennis player I've played in my entire life. And believe me, I've played my fair share of tennis players. And this kid was exponentially better than all of them. So I, in my mind, while playing him, thought, wow, this kid was destined to go on the ATP Tour, which is the National Pro League for tennis. But then after talking to him after our match, after he beat me 6-0, 6-0, he said that he wanted to go on the ATP Tour, but he didn't really have the money to be able to afford all the coaching, all the facilities, all the equipment to really enable him to go on the ATP Tour. So this made me reflect about my own community, and it made me realize that there were a lot of kids in my community who didn't have the resources, who didn't have the facilities, who didn't have the coaching to be able to pursue their passions because of financial reasons. So this gave me an idea. I thought, what if there was a company that allowed high schoolers to pursue their passion for an affordable price by using their older peers and high schoolers and teaching them. So I took this idea to a startup incubator known as LeanGap. A startup incubator, for those of you that don't know, is a program that takes ideas, weeds them out, and creates teams to truly execute these ideas. So I took my idea to the startup incubator and luckily was accepted. And after being accepted, I was able to meet tons of people from around the world and amazing backgrounds. There was a girl from Japan, a girl from France, and even kids from New York. And I feel extremely fortunate to be able to have been able to meet all these people from extremely diverse backgrounds. So after meeting these kids, we all pitched our ideas, and we chose an idea based off the team that we were also able to choose, and my idea was chosen. Upon choosing our idea, we then had to validate it with a survey to truly assess whether there was really a market need for this idea. And it was assessed that there was a market need for this idea. And then we made our prototype. And after making our prototype, we immediately went to the market. And after going to the market, everything went amazing. We made over $500 within the first few days. We had new purchases almost every single day. And we had new coaches almost every other hour. And everything was going according to plan. All the work that we had put in across the summer was truly paying off. But the monetary achievements we made doesn't truly show the whole picture of what we were able to accomplish. The first lesson the company had was of a kid who had cerebral palsy. And it was a tennis lesson. So due to his cerebral palsy, he was never really able to play tennis. But because of this company, he was able to have a lifelong friend and play a sport which he had never really been able to play before. And I mean, stories like these really showed the impact that this company had. It showed the meaningfulness of this company. And it's also worth mentioning that this company won pitching competitions, placed top 5 in national competitions, and was doing all around very well. But this didn't last forever. By the end of the summer, as it got colder, there was less tennis courts, less soccer fields, and all these facilities lessened because the weather was worse. And you really can't have free lessons inside a facility, so there wasn't really any place for us to hold these coaching lessons. In addition, Our coaches had less availability because their school was beginning to start and they didn't have the time anymore. And because of the less coaches and the less facilities, we had less students actually being coached, and before we knew it, we had almost no new students. All that former success that we had with new purchases almost every single day, all of it seemingly disappeared. And all these issues caused even one of our co-founders to have to leave because his school was picking up, he was disappointed with the traction we had, and it really felt terrible. We had put in so much work over the summer, and to see all of it go to waste was truly a terrible experience. We were on top of the world at one point to rock bottom, and that was a terrible experience. So I was obviously disappointed with this failure until I was able to meet with a man by the name of Narayanamurthy. For those of you that don't know who Narayanamurthy is he's the founder of a company known as Infosys, which is one of the largest companies in the world, which works with tech consulting. And he really put into perspective what failure really is. And I know this is cliche, but it's truly a stepping stone to success. When you fail, you're given two options. You are able to give up and just accept failure, or you are able to use the lessons, use the experiences, and persevere. Like, I am blessed to be able to say that not many kids know what an SSL certificate is, let alone how to put it into a website, but because of this experience, I was actually able to learn this. In addition, as I mentioned before, this student whose name will remain anonymous, he was able to receive coaching in a lesson which he'd never been able to do before. And it really showed me the impact that this company had. And it showed me all the experiences, all the failures. All of these can come together and we can maybe even try again. So this leads me to the overall message for this talk. If any of you fail, you're given two choices. The first one is you can give up, try something new, and not take advantage of all the unique experiences you were really given. The second thing you can do is you can use these experiences, use these failures, and really cultivate a new experience that can really help other people like I was able to do. Thank you.